I'm gonna be disappointed if I don't get to try my jelly salad. And it did not set.
I have unfinished business. Hello again! Welcome back to my disaster kitchen. In my last weird 1950s Jello recipes video, I got the taste sensation of the perfection salad, but I didn't get the satisfaction of a jiggly, molded abomination. And even though that video is one of the most disliked videos on my channel, 2 whole dislikes, I was not satisfied. I want to try again. There's something in me that is so drawn to these weird slices of mid-century America. So we're giving it a go again today. This time I'm coming in a little bit more prepared. I'm taking a vintage recipe, but it is one that has been tested and modernized. This recipe is coming from homecookingmemories.com, which I will of course link below, and it is Grandma's Lime Green Jello Salad. And this recipe has almost 100 5-star reviews. Let's get started. Okay, so for this recipe, this is what we're dealing with. First of all, we're off to a dubious start. The recipe obviously calls for lime jello, but for the life of me, in all of the stores in my town, I could not find lime jello anywhere. So we're going for this lemonade flavor. You know, it'll give the citrus, and in the comments of the recipe I'm using, some people were saying they used lime jello. Some people even said orange. So we're going with lemonade. So we're off to a great start. Then we have some crushed pineapple, which that sounds good. Lemon and pineapple, that sounds really nice. Some walnuts, I'm still vibing. Evaporated milk, okay. Still got like, you know, these are sort of baking elements. Then we get into the cottage cheese, and then the mayonnaise. I'm fully prepared for this to taste good. Like, my fascination with these recipes are because people were making them, people were eating them and loving them. And this recipe in particular, I have hopes for because, like I said, 100 5-star reviews and tons of comments, people reminiscing and talking about how much they love this. So I'm going in with an open mind. Okay, so first off, we are going to take the pineapple crush and drain the pineapple juice to make a water pineapple juice mixture to boil the gelatin in. Smells absolutely amazing. Now I want Dole Whip. And we're going to top that up so it is equal to 2 cups or 16 ounces. Now this is where I'm already nervous because I know some citrus can stop gelatin from setting, but people made this recipe. Time to believe in myself, I guess. But to give myself a little bit more help, one of my colleagues suggested adding a couple gelatin leaves to my mixture to give it a better chance of setting with all the stuff in there. Ooh, wow. I've never used leaf gelatin before. Look how cool this is. Oh my gosh. While that is setting, we're going to chop up some walnuts, which is always very satisfying. I love the texture of walnuts. Now, obviously in the comments of this recipe were a lot of people reflecting and reminiscing on how this recipe made them think of their grandmothers or some holidays growing up. And I would love to know, what are some recipes that make you think of your grandma, any of the great chefs in your life? For me, a large part of my heritage is Polish. And so when I think of my grandma, I think of lots of recipes, homemade Polish sausage, kolacki. But one of my biggest comfort foods is gąbki, and that is stuffed cabbages. And when I was in university, my grandma would make me huge batches of gąbki and put them all in a bunch of containers so I could freeze them. So anytime I was feeling overtired or just like I didn't have any time to make dinner for myself. I knew I always had some of my grandma's stuffed cabbage in my freezer ready to go, and just like getting that little bit of care and love in the middle of my hectic school schedule. Look at that, right on the money without measuring beforehand. Dope. While that is cooling, we will now be entering the milk and mayonnaise portion of tonight's recipe. We'll start with the milk first. Very nice. And now, all right, we have quite the mixture on our hands now, and now we are going to put it into our receptacles so it can set. The recipe calls to put it in a big Pyrex dish like that, so it'll be easy to dish out and easy to share with my coworkers at work. I'm sure they're looking forward to this. But I also, because I want a shaped thing, I bought a few pudding cups as well. So I'm gonna have little jiggly domes to get to satisfy my flip and display desires. Now we're going to wait for a couple hours, 4 to 8 hours. But yeah, how am I feeling about the recipe? I don't know, with the way it's developed with the pineapple and the creamy color, my mind is thinking Dole Whip. But, you know, we'll see. I'm open to this tasting good. I'm very open to it tasting good. What I am not entirely confident on is how this is going to set. It seems like a lot of stuff in there. It seems like the Jello liquid part was a very small amount of this. So I followed it to the T. Well, not exactly to the T because I didn't have lime Jello, and I added more gelatin leaf. So I guess time will tell. Maybe this is my Achilles heel. No, let's get some confidence in here. I will successfully set Jello. See ya in a couple hours. Here we are, moment of truth. Well, it's set, but ta-da! Now I need to actually eat this thing. I guess I was hoping it kind of wouldn't work again. It'll give me an out. Let me make sure I get a bit of pineapple. Oh my God, that is thick. Oh my God. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the camera for any of that because I'm into it. I'm terrified of it. I'm in reverence to it. Okay, well. It's certainly better than Perfection salad. Obviously, I messed that up, but the flavors are better here. The walnuts are really necessary. The texture would be pretty unbearable without the walnuts to give it a bit of something to chew. But it honestly tastes okay. Yeah, like if I didn't know what was in it, I'd probably be eating it a little bit more freely. The intensity of your brain knowing that is a mayonnaise salad. It doesn't taste like mayonnaise at all. It tastes like mild pineapple tapioca. I would say overall this is a culinary success, both in the practical aspect of making Jello, but it's also a success in taste. It's very much edible, and if you were in the 50s bringing it to your summer garden party, you might be the envy of the town. Maybe. Well, what did you think? I'm proud that I was able to overcome my difficulties from the last time I tried this. And yeah, it tastes pretty okay. I would give it a solid 5 or 6 out of 10. This is edible. The part that I think makes it difficult is the knowledge. Ignorance is bliss in this situation. Yeah, it's, I'm pleased with myself. I would say it's a success. As I said earlier, I would love to know what your family comfort food is. Have you ever tried a weird 1950s Jello recipe before? Are you gonna try this one now? I think next time I make Jello, I will just make a plain old pack of normal Jello just to cleanse my palate a bit. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you could like it. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. A bit of Jello for you. This time with Grandma's lime jean. Dun, 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 dun. Now, something you're going to want to do if you're me is you are going to have to, oh, somebody's hoovering the outside, the street. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this if someone is hoovering the street.